morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Sistrunk, and I'm reaching out to the student body. Okay, so I want to do a demonstration on how to present your lab to your professor. Now, what I'm really concerned about is that, as you can see right here, I'm inside of the AWS Portal, and once you click on this particular link here, which is Module 4, which has the first lab that you will be doing, a student emailed me and said, "Hey, Professor, where are the labs? I do not see the labs in AWS or D2L." That shocked me. But that's okay. Sometimes we look around and we don't see things. But if you look right here, it clearly outlines the lab. So I'm curious. I can't wait till that student calls me because I really want to have this conversation. But with that being said, I want to show you how I would like you to do your labs. So I'm going to take a little time and do a lab from start to finish, which is this first one. So all you have to do is just click on the lab. You already know that. And then you are transferred into this particular portal here. This outlines everything that needs to be done in the lab. Now, I'm not going to completely do the whole lab for you because I'm sure you have the skills to do it on your own. But I want to show you what I need from you to validate that you have completed the lab. The very first thing is you should look over here and see these particular boxes over here. And I suggest that the first thing you want to do is start the lab. So you would click on this here for your instructions to start the lab. Now, trust me, that's going to take a little time to build up. And while that's building up, we're going to talk about this particular lab and why it is so important. When you see this screen right here, that's important too. Sometimes for me, I'll copy this information. You really shouldn't have to do it, but just in case, I like to copy it and put it on the back burner. Okay, so let's begin to talk about the lab. Okay, so as you can see, the lab is building up in the background, okay? But what's important is to get a little understanding of this particular lab. As you can see, you got topics covered, what you'll be working on, and it really gonna break the lab down step by step. So you're gonna see me take a few jumps ahead because I know you know how to read and I know you understand instructions. But as you can see, the lab is here and ready to go. I, as a professor, like to put my lab in a Word doc. As you can see, I brought this Word doc over so I can put in what I call the snippets or the snapshots that showed that I completed the work. So I'm gonna move this back to the side. And as you can see, if you click right here on AWS, because you started the lab, I can see that the lab is ready to go. I'll just click here, and that will take me to where the lab is actually at. As you see, I got two screens open now. One here that's showing instructions on the lab, and one here. Now, if you're really good and you got two screens at home like me, you can just simply take this here and slide it over to the second screen, and then you working with the lab inside the portal. So the first thing is, I like to keep this popping up, so just in case I want to venture off and explore the portal of AWS, but you don't have to. I'm gonna close it right now. Now this is AWS Portal. As you can see up here, they got a couple of announcements. You know, it says the new AWS console home will replace your existing experience soon. So they saying this portal is gonna change. I can switch now, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it like this because this may be what you're seeing. But if you get used to the new portal, have at it. Be that person who's gonna venture off and be daring and learn the new stuff, so when you get that job, you can just pop and show people that you know what you're doing. So the first thing the lab asks me to do, I'm gonna bring this over here so you can see it. It says here, AWS Identity and Access Management. Yay! Introduction to AWS IAM. Remember that it's important. So, as a web service that enables Amazon Web Service customers to manage users and users' permissions. So, it's explaining what IAM is in the industry of AWS cloud computing. Pay attention to it because it is extremely important. Let me widen the screen. It's extremely important in our industry. So you must, let me say that again, you must understand this. It is so important that you understand that, because that is, one, what the users are, two, security credentials for the users and devices, and three, permissions to allow people to get inside of that. It's important, people. Do not play with it. So the first thing is you're going to read all of this information and get a lot of information. And I'm going to say this. You should be copying this information via typing it or something to keep this information. Now, I cannot copy and paste this information. First of all, it's illegal, but you can type it out to keep the key things that's important to you. The next thing is, it says you have 40 minutes in this lab. And as you look around here, you're going to see a timer and stuff. So make sure you're on top of your job. Now, it tells you to start the lab, which you did. If so, you would have read it first. And then it shows you other tricks and tips to it. Then we get to the nitty-gritty. Task 1, explore users and groups. This is important. So this is going to be a short video because I'm just going to do something and show you how to present it to your professor. Please remember that. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to slide this over again. And I hope you got two screens, because if you don't, you're going to have to go backwards and forward. It wants you in task 1 to simply go over to the actual AWS Management Console. Now, there's many ways you can get there. I can come up here and click on Services, and it will get me to the AWS Management Console here. As you can see, things are already highlighted right here. IAM, EC2, S3, they're already there. And then it wants, and you see it says services right here. Okay, so it says click on this here, IAM. So I'm gonna click on it. Now, I don't need you to copy everything for me. It's just specific things that's gonna show me what you're doing. As you can see, I've been playing around in here, and you may even have stuff in here where you playing around too. But have fun at it. That's what this is all about, to have fun. Just remember, when you complete the entire lab, close it out so it won't count against your credit. Just make sure you close it. I'm gonna close this little screen up here because I don't need it anymore. Okay, so now we're almost 10 minutes into this video. The very first thing I want you to do now is, it says here in the navigation pane on the left, choose users. So in the navigation pane, you see users, you click on it. You see it's simple to follow instructions. Once you choose users, it says follow the IAM users have been created. So these following users have already been created. Now it says choose user 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose user 1. What I am mostly looking for you to give me is the end product of each one of these steps. And I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So the next thing it says, once you click on user 1, go to permissions. So as you can see, permissions are already selected for me, but if it's not, click on that tab. And from permissions, it says you notice that user 1 does not have any permissions. You can see that. It says choose groups. I'm gonna choose groups, and you can see what's in groups. You can add a group, and then it says user one also is not a member of a group. Then it says choose security credentials. So I'm gonna go here and choose on security credentials. And as you can see, it shows you the information inside of here. Now in the navigation pane on the left, it says choose user groups. So I'm gonna come back over to this left, and then I'm gonna click on user groups. So what you just did in the beginning, it showed you how to get to things. That's what it wants you to do. Learn how to get to things so you'll know what you're doing. Yes, indeed. So you see the admin support, and you see support for S3. You should know what EC2 means now. You should know what S3 means now. Don't tell me you don't know. You should know. Okay, so it says choose EC2 support right there. EC2 support. I click on that, and from there it will bring you to the summary page of EC2 support. There it is. Click on permissions. I clicked on permissions, and then it says here, it gives you a lot of information about the permissions. But what's important, you click the permissions tab, it says this group has managed policies associated with it called, and here it is, Amazon EC2 Ready Read-Only Access. So that means that that particular person or persons that will go into EC2 support will only have read access. That means that they cannot change a thing. They'll only be able to read it. So that's what it's going to describe here. Now it says choose the plus icon next to it. Here go the plus right here. I'm going to click on that. And then you see right here what we call a program that was written for that particular read-only access. Okay? So it shows you the policy. Now we call these particular programs policies that will allow people to do particular things. Now we're not going to go too heavily into the policy. You're going to be able to read this, but it says choose the minus, and I'm going to choose the minus, and then and you was able to do it. Now we get to here. I'm going to bring this back over. Now we get to the scenario. So you just covered all of this information here. And yes, I shortchanged it. I went over what I thought was important, but you have to read everything to get this right. So make sure you do. Now we hear what we talking about business scenario. It's going to talk about what's in the business scenario, and then it's going to give you a task. Now here's our first task. And people, trust me, if you do not go through everything in here, when you get to the other labs, you will be lost. You will not know what to do. So don't play yourself. Do the work. Okay, add users to the group. So we're finna add some users to the group. Okay, let's do that, people. Let's have fun. I'm gonna go to user group. Let me follow instructions. And then I'm gonna click on S3 support. And then in S3 support, I'm gonna click on users. Okay, once I click on users, I'm gonna click on add user to the group. And that's right here. So you have to pay attention to what you're doing. So I'm gonna say add user. And now I wanna add a user to the group. And all I have to do is, in the add user to the S3 window, all I have to do is select user one. There it is. At the bottom of the screen, add user. Here it is, add user. So I'm gonna click on it. Now what I just did was add a user to the group. Once you do that, this is what I want you to do. So I'll know you did it. Now truly, I am gonna know you did it. But so I can know that you actually did it, I want you to take a green screenshot before you go to the next add user. And how do you take a screenshot? I have this icon that every one of you should have, and if you don't have it, just make sure you take a snapshot of your computer. It's called Snippet Tool. It comes with Microsoft. If I click this, it will give me a little plus icon, and I can take a snapshot of this, and then once I take that snapshot, I can save it to my desktop. Now, there's two things you can do with this. I'm gonna save it as 1-1 or whatever. I'm just gonna make up something, a name for it. Okay, I'm just gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'm gonna save it. Now, there's two things with this you can do with this. You can go to the portal where you upload the lab and just upload the snapshots. That's it. Or you can put it inside of the document and make it look all nice and neat, and I can look at it within the document. So if you notice in the document, when you get to adding a user, see, it gets all this information that I copied over here, but when you get to adding a user, you just simply place it where you read the information to add the user. So in the business scenario, at the end of this, let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come right here after I add the user. I'm gonna click here, hit enter. Now I'm using Microsoft Word. I don't know if you got Microsoft Word. I'm gonna click insert. I'm gonna go get picture. And what I will do then is on my desktop where I put that picture right there, there is the user. There is what I just did. And I did it in a nice, neat way. Now I can take this entire document, upload it into D2L Portal, where that assignment's supposed to be, where when I complete the work, and my professor will be able to see everything. Either I can just do the picture and upload it, which I'm gonna have a lot of pictures, because I'm showing my professor that I did all the work, or I can just have a document that shows it nice and neat and that I'm a professional. And this is what professionals do. Okay, so with that being said and done, this ends this example. Take a look at it, and then if you have any questions, you can meet me Tuesday, but let's get this work in by Sunday. This is Professor Sistrunk reaching out to all the students. Do your work, people. You're good.